Hi, guys, and a very warm welcome to the premiere episode of Vibes Hub with Mel. I am your host, Mel Miendo, back on your screens, finally, but now on a podcast. So exciting to be here with you guys. This is a podcast that will be centering on people's life journeys and experiences. And then we also get to talk about those seldom heard stories, those ones that you don't hear about too much. That's where you'll hear it from here on Vibes Hub with Mel. So, my very first guest is someone you always see on your TV. And this is none other than Seth Duncan. Seth Olale. Seth Duncan. Leo watu lazima wajue. Unaitwa Duncan. Hiyo ndo jina tunajua.
It's a name watu wajui.
Sasa leo.
Yes.
Seth D bana, karibu.
Thank you so much, Mel. And
story
congratulations. Story one, episode 1.
You know why I'm saying that? Because I remember when we were in NTV.
Yes.
Hey, story one. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for being the very first guest on this podcast.
Always a pleasure.
I was so excited to have you on board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, Seth D. Nikakuita Seth D ukasema, what's happening?
What's happening?
What's going on today?
Nita by my...
Jina yenye. Jina ya kitambo.
Jina ya kitambo.
But we used to call you that in Daystar.
Yeah, in college.
I mean, I would remember that. Like, kuona Citizen TV, like, Seth Olale.
Seth Olale, yes.
NTV Seth Olale. Come on.
Seth D.
Karibu sana, how are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Maisha tunangangana nayo. But we thank God. Tunangangana na maisha, tunapambana na maisha.
We're not struggling. We are thriving. We have to thrive.
We have to struggle because, Mel, are you Elon Musk? Are you a dollar billionaire?
Allah. Pesa ndo inaongea.
Until tufike.
No.
But I'm okay.
Mungu mbele.
Mungu mbele.
See, in fact, you're the one who taught me that line.
Mungu mbele. #Mungu mbele.
Hashtag.
Yeah, that is the hashtag.
But it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And, I was thinking about it. I don't know how many years has it been for you now in media?
11 years.
11. Kidogo niko nimekupeleka huko 15. Mbona nimekusongesha
ngoja kwa sababu nilijoin internship 2011. So 2021 that was 10. So I'm actually 13 years.
So you see, I'm keeping I'm very updated with your career.
Because if you do internship, my first internship at NTV, that was September 2011. In fact, it was on a 12th September 2011.
Seth, how do you remember that date like that?
Way.
Like it was serious.
Yes. Because you see, I applied for internship in June. And it took me like 6 months for a Nation Media Group to come through. Yeah.
But didn't we go for internship the same time? I don't know.
Mel, we were both students and I saw you on TV.
I'm seeing where this is going. I don't want. No. What are you saying? Where?
No, I'm saying maybe you started way earlier. But did you even qualify for this internship thing? Because by the time I was going for internship, Mel, you were working at NTV, signing out.
I was signing.
Hey.
So Seth, I remember how at that time we were really tulikuwa tumengangana na masomo. But we were always really trying to just see what else is out there,
Yeah.
Even for you to get your internship in 2011 at NTV and then later on get to still work at NTV.
Yes.
I mean, I think that in itself was just a blessing.
It was a blessing because, Mel, you see, it was not easy for me at Daystar also because I was relying on sponsorship. Most of it I was on help and I was on work study. But that was not enough. Remember the courses we had to take for you to really be up to speed. You take, we used to call them 130 were they units or something. So what happened is I felt that I needed to go out, work, look for school fees and, boost the completion of my course.
Yeah, and you did. I mean, hongera.
Thank you.
We'll get to talk about Daystar because we both have that in common.
Yes.
But tell me, like, how is it in the media now? I know like you are in the current affairs, politics docket. You started in sports,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I was a sports reporter.
And then
for
you
6
became a
years.
sports anchor. Hey Seth, lakini hata wewe. Kidogo sasa wewe ni mtu wa politics.
Yes.
You've been able to transition in different dockets. How has that experience been like for you?
Well, it has been awesome, but also I think it's wanting something new. Like you, Mel. Mel, you do anything. When mtu wa mkono, you can do anything. So
wewe ndio interview. Nyinyi watu wa media.
Watu ya media. So for me, when I joined NTV as an intern, sports intern, I remember when we were joining, day one reporting, there's someone who is called Richard Chacha. He was the assignments editor and asked me, so Kijana, where do you want to go? There's sports, there's business, there's menus. So I said sports because, my background, Daystar University, I was the student leader in charge of sports and social welfare for 2 terms. So I was like, I wanted a comfort zone. But again, that comfort became too much because in this way, after 5 years, sports will remain sports.
Yeah.
The sporting calendar is the same. You'll have Olympics and World Cups every 4 years.
It's routine.
It is routine. So it was an urge to do something different.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you're saying it was more like just going out to get something new.
Yeah, going out to experience something new.
Unasemati, like you, Mel.
Yes, like you, Mel.
Lakini, you see the beauty
Mel,
about...
you were at DCF, ulikuwa kwa Christian Union. Ndio uko kwa Helen Mtalaki, uko kwa Frizo. Helen Mtawali, you are everywhere.
You see, the beauty is like just being able to thrive in the sports docket and also just thrive in current affairs and politics and all that.
Yeah.
But what was the in-between for you? Like, why did you feel that, like this other docket would be the one thing that for you would make more sense?
Yes. Right from the start, I later not regretted, but I thought it's going to be a rotational. When I joined intern, the sports desk, I thought maybe after a month, now they will rotate. We go to business, we go to... My main ambition from a student point of view and also as a young intern was to be in current affairs. Yeah, I really loved current affairs. So I realized, so it's sports and it's sports. So there's no moving out.
Okay.
So I desired to do current affairs, to do also more of investigative journalism. So I thought this was an opportunity. And this is what happened. During the 2017 election, when all the dockets are merged.
Yes.
So all of you go to cover election. Yeah. Political reporters, exactly. Everyone. Yeah. So I think from my boss's point of view, I did so well, especially in the live coverage and updates. I remember I was in Kibera in 2017. It was so, I won't say chaotic, but it was... The stakes were high and, the political temperatures as well. And then you now have the post-election presidential petitions, and now you have the protests. Yeah. And my bosses thought, I am up to task. I'm up to the task. So, yes.
Up to task.
So I graduated and, they said, but why don't you cross over? Yeah. And I said, I don't have a problem with that as well.
Of course. I mean, but I think you have been doing so amazing.
Thank you.
Just being able to be with you in school and then, kidogo ndo your sports, umeenda nayo, umeenda kabisa, you're anchoring. I mean, it's just been really great seeing that progress in you. But one of the things I'd also like to ask in terms of, like, in your opinion, you know how media was then? How we were so hungry, was excited about it. And we get into the system. And we have to also wade in the waters, like how you're deep sea, you have to swim.
Yes.
Do you feel like just being in that space, do you feel like that's how it should be. Do you feel like that helped you in terms of your career progression? You know, just basically being like lazima tu ukwange ready kila saa, like hakuna break. You know, do you feel like it's sort of...
You know, you are right. You know, when we were joining, we were so excited. This is what we wanted. We had even seen, kutoka kwa TV nafanya sign off. We had seen, like Mel, I watched you in class. Let me just go back. You know, and I said, okay. I want to be where Mel is. But now again, you see, when you are there, it's a whole new environment. Yeah, you come face to face. You know, there's no trisex in media. You fumbled, you're in court. Yeah. Any error, someone has sued you and all that. So it's real time. And of course, it's pressure. Yeah. You know, I usually tell people about, you know, even how our social lives have even been affected. You know, you're reporting to the office at 8, you leave that office at 9 p.m.
10.
9:30, 10.
Ni 10 actually.
Yeah, but
tunatoka 10 p.m.
hata kukuwa na debrief ni 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And you know, the next day go cover the president at 5 a.m. And then you have an off day that now you have to compensate all everything that you worked for. Now you have to create space. But I would say it's also transformative in the sense that, you know, now you get into the real world, you also try and adjust and hang on there.
Yeah.
And it's just a balancing act. But it is also not easy. And I talk to a lot of young people interns who also come once in a while, and I'm telling them, you know, it is not also very rosy. You really have to have passion in this industry, because sometimes it becomes very tough.
And I think aside from even passion is definite. You have to have it. Like, you have to be street smart. You have to be book smart.
Yes.
You have to have, like, you know, a nose for news. That's how we call it. You know, like, as in wherever you are. Hata kama uko family.
Yes.
Kisikia tu kakitu mtu amesema, you know, you start. So it becomes our lifestyle. Like, you don't even, it happens without you even knowing, you know.
Yes.
But one of the things Seth guys usually say about us media people is that that's all we know. You know, like how, like, watu wa TV inakonga iyo ndo wamejua, like, ukimrusha sijui wapi, you know, they may not be able to thrive. Do you share those sentiments? Or
I would disagree. I would disagree in this sense. I know, depending on where people came from, we have people who've learned law.
Yeah.
They're practicing media. They're in media. We have people who've done medicine. Yeah. So I think also, you know, is all about also just expanding, you know, your view and your experience. The fact is, this is our primary task, and we've invested a lot in it, in terms of, first of all, going to school for 4 years, and then now you're in the main job for another 10 years or so. So primarily, we're very attached to where we are currently. But look at it, Mel, and especially from a current affairs reporter.
Yeah.
You know the media, you know the business trends, you know the political trends, you know the things to do with climate change and all that. So I think we also get empowered a lot, and especially if we take that and have that opportunity to really expand on that.
And then, Seth, you know, when we're in NTV, at that point, like, all of us were doing different things. Like, you know, you'd have the political reporters. I'm mentioning NTV because that's where we worked together. So you'd have, like, the political guys for politics. You'd have guys for crime. You'd have guys for sports. You'd have guys for business. You'd have guys for health. You know, everyone, the dockets were there. Everyone knew what they were doing. But come 2020, ilikuwa 2020 ama 2021, Convergence
from 2019.
Ilikuwa 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Convergence comes like a flood, you know. I mean, I don't know how that experience was like for you.
Where?
Like,
that way is enough. Yeah.
But said it at the same time.
Yes. The bearers of this concept, converging the desks. I also think those who've experimented have come to know the highs and the lows about it. But from where we came from at that particular time, it was a totally different. It was a culture change.
Like literally culture shock. Ile ata imekuja mpaka it's you don't even know what to do about it.
And then it will always remain that broadcast, Mel, you can do TV, you can do radio, and you can write.
Yeah.
Can that writer do a sign off, do a piece to camera? So, who's more involved? Yeah. So when we talk also about convergence, just tell a writer to do a 1 minute 30 script.
Piece to camera,
and a piece to camera, yes.
30 seconds.
Yes. So I don't know.
All the words come and go.
But the bearers are the initiators of this concept. Of course, there are things they've seen and all that. But I feel that, it really takes time.
So, it's interesting because then if, that's, we are talking about this because we've been there. We know, we felt that change. We know how it was and how it still is even now. But you see, the thing is, like, can we actually say that at this point in time, as like upcoming journalists, what are sisi tumenini sisi tumekuwa veteran, like for
legends.
the upcoming ones, like can you actually tell someone that you can thrive as a political reporter, you can thrive as a health reporter, you can thrive as an environment reporter, as an education reporter, or sahi nile, if you're coming, come as jack of all trades. Trades like ukirushwa State House, unapiga hiyo story. Ukirushwa climate change, unafanya hiyo story. Like, is that where we are?
I think so. And I let me just tell you something. There's someone who contacted me and asked me, Seth, would you recommend to me someone who, knows almost everywhere, can do anything, comfortable. So when you're asking me, I think that is the direction, and
did you find that person?
And also some sort.
Please tell me, because
I don't have to give you feedback. I'm still looking for that person. Yes.
Hey.
Also, in terms of job security, I'd give you advice: be a jack of all trades. Mel, you can do politics, you can do business, and you can do current affairs. Don't be comfortable in one aspect. The media job market in Kenya is so limited. It's a very small space. How many mainstream do we have? Yes. So
but the digital ones are really coming up.
Yeah, the digital ones are really coming. And actually they're really taking off. Yeah. But it's good to specialize after some point, but because at some point you'd want also to specialize and to have a brand associated with a specific, task. That is okay. But when from a starting point, just feel a bit free to do anything.
So what you're saying is that person you're looking for, you're saying that person is there.
I think it's you.
Is it me?
Yes,
Why did you call me and tell me the Mel, someone is looking for you?
Because I knew then you were
I invited you to my podcast already. But Seth, you see, it's you know why I ask is because I've been asked this question, and people are not really talking about it, and that's why I actually, it's something that I was like, are we telling this upcoming journalist that as you do your course, always remember that as you're leaving, just know, even if you are passionate about business, remember you may get to a point where you are doing politics. You may get to a point where, but Seth, would we really say that? Because like Saizi, climate change is like one of the really major dockets in every media house. And I know, some reporters who are climate change, like specific climate change reporters. So how come it's working out for them? And huku kwengine munasema mukue jack of all trades.
Pambanini.
What's so different?
That's a very valid question and very
Munapenda
valid
kusema
concern.
hivyo. It's a very good question.
Mel, I think also here you also have to look at the strengths of numbers when it comes to these media installations. You'll have Station A has, in total, has 5 reporters doing everything. So wanazungushwa, go cover politics, kesho enda business. And then you have Station B that has 20 reporters. So in those 20 reporters, now you have those segmented desks. You have 5 from political desks. So I think with them, becomes more easier in terms of settling down and specializing. But also, Mel, it also depends with the vision, the mission, and the realistic target of these companies we work for. I won't lie to you because what is the drive?
And they all vary.
Anyway, and they all vary. So what is the drive? When they're recruiting, what is the drive? Are they more into segmented features? Are they more into, current affairs? Are they more into TV production? So I think all those dynamics will matter.
Okay, sawa Seth Duncan.
Hapo nimeongea kama MOA media owner.
Nakwambia literally hata nilikuwa nasema yes sir, karibu nianze. Sir, you are very right sir, I concur with you. But Seth, we're talking about like how it all started for us at Daystar University. Would you say that for you, being in Daystar really, helped, in your career, helped you in terms of the career you want to choose, that you've known that I want to do mass comm, so I come and do mass communication as a course, and I want to be a journalist, like how did it shape your career?
I think it did in a big way, because when I joined, even just before joining Daystar, I knew that, I was going to do journalism. And I knew that, this institution, Daystar, is among the best, leave alone the UNESCO, awards and all that in terms of, best placed communications institution, learning institution. I knew also the rich personalities that, were ahead of us. The likes of Akina Larry, the likes of
Larry you were with him.
Tulimpata.
Oh, Tulimpata.
Mel, I was ahead of you. Larry was ahead of me. Why do you want to skip the ladder?
No, it's because I remember like at some point we're all sharing a class.
Gashara, Larry Mado. I think because of those classes you have to.
So but
Larry was way ahead.
Okay, Larry was ahead of us, and then okay.
All right, Gashara, those were ahead of us. So. And now look, even now the alumni, likes of Akina Lilian Muli and all that. So
and you see, likes of Akina Seth Olale.
No, I was a first year. No, I'm talking when I was a first year.
Joining.
So at that particular moment, you see, you want to go and pursue journalism in a very credible and highly ranked institution. At the same time, you are seeing people, personalities who've gone through that particular system. And, they're very
thriving, they are
they're
doing
very
well.
influential and they're doing well. So I thought that, it really shaped us. And also, Mel, I was with you in Daystar and we were everywhere. We were in DCF, not in a bad way. We were in DCF. I don't know if you vied for DOSA student leadership at some point.
I felt like it would be too much. I was like, I need to take a break. I need to pace myself. Nisha and NTV sasa tena ninge student leadership.
Yes. So I think that DOSA gave us a platform to really thrive, and also, how you want to go, because some of us when we joined, we were kila mahali, every corner. We used that opportunity, but also we wanted it to be not just a learning process, academics, also other things.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if you've heard, but Daystar is actually planning a School of Communication homecoming in October. So basically, like you're saying, it's all those guys for back in the day, and then us guys who I feel like, you know how we used to think about them as back in the day. Now us we're the ones who are back in the day.
Now we are
Because
Yes.
So and they're planning this homecoming. I don't know, what do you think of it? What would you expect of such an event? Like,
well, apart from it being, a very good get together,
yeah,
I'd also feel it is an opportunity, for those who are learning now, and even those who went, even the teaching staff, the lecturers who are there. I see some of them, I look at them at Kemu, some at Aga Khan.
yeah.
Yes. What I would say is this would create a very good interactive session and also a motivation experience for those who are currently in it. When they see, hey, this is Mel Miendo, the BBC here.
Like,
Hey, ex-BBC now doing her own thing. Mel is now a media owner, as in, we also
I receive it.
Also
bring them,
get
please
this.
speak those blessings.
Yeah, so looking forward to it.
I am
you'll
as
tell
well.
us how to attend. You'll tell us how to be invited. Because
but I heard about it and I was like, this would be such a cool way to get all of us together. Like used to hear of Sujihu, and we were all in the same school of communication. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Daystar actually gets to get that rolling and get it as a huge thing. It would be cool.
Yeah.
But Seth, even as we are winding up, one of the things that in my mind I'm thinking is like, would you actually, you're telling me you talk to young people.
Yeah, I
and,
do.
and I'm sure they probably come to you and they're like, oh, I want to pursue this course in journalism because wamona Seth Olale waka like, hey, mi nataka kukua kama Seth Olale, So do you encourage them to actually take this course?
I do. I do.
What do you tell them? Because I know it's very different from what us were told. Right now, it's very different from what we are telling these guys.
Mel, I do, because when I was joining this and, when I chose journalism, my parents asked me, why journalism? It's kind of narrow. They thought even the opportunities in it, that time we're not talking about digital, era and all that. So they were looking at it from, you either work for, the leading media outlets in the country, but how many can you be in those outlets, and how many students are pursuing journalism every day, thousands and thousands. When I was at this, I said, I will be unique. I will stand out and I will come out. I usually tell them, Jitume. Don't be in that. Get your space.
Yeah.
In the media
and find
industry.
something special.
Yeah, find something
yourself.
special about yourself.
Something unique.
I talked to some intern. She's still there and she's leaving soon. And, I saw her passion. She goes to studio, she starts to record herself, when the rest are okay. So I really talked to her and I told her, why can't you, the things you do, advance them on social media, in your spaces as well. I saw the other day she's 40K on TikTok, and I told
amazing.
her, and this is an intern, and the things she posts just related to the industry. They've gone to field work. She would, apart from what they're doing professionally, she also takes her phone and records saying, we are now going A B. I say, that's it. That's it. Okay. So I talked to them. I recently attended a symposium at JQuat. The journalism club had invited me there to give a talk, a speech, and I was telling them, you see, some of us, when we joined, we said, there can only be one Mel Miendo. So you be that identity. Get your space, thrive, shine, and do something different, as you say.
Hey, Seth Olale.
Finally, you called me Seth Olale. Thank you.
Hata sijui imetoka aje. Seth is what I meant.
Okay.
But thank you, Seth. It's been really great having you here. And just your final thoughts on where we are going in terms of media in Kenya, not even like in Africa or because being at the BBC, I got the Africa perspective, which was amazing. But my background is local. My background has been KBC and TV Radio Africa. Where do you see us going?
You see,
kidogo umesi. Like tufunge show.
Because from what we're experiencing, we look at some, really established media, installations that started way earlier. We see the stories how, they are retrenching. We see stories how staff are being laid off. We see shutdowns, and, we are here and we are saying, in as much as we are venturing into the digital space, but it is also quite worrying because it is also disheartening. We should be in a place where, the media is now going to another level. It is expanding with its people.
Don't leave them.
Don't leave your people. It is expanding. Yeah. So it is a big concern. It is a big concern. We are colleagues in this field and we see, we are friends in this field. We know what's happening to our colleagues. We've had issues, real issues, including people going deep into depression, people even attempting suicide because of all these eventualities. So I would say that one needs to be dealt with. I don't know, is it not lucrative enough in terms of business-wise? But I know revenue is one thing and practicing is another thing. But I would wish from where I sit that, we would grow media in Kenya instead of shrink, and especially the mainstream, and then you have now the media agenda. Where are we in terms of press freedom? Where are we in terms of non-interference and all that? We experienced a very unfortunate, turn of events during the demonstrations. You saw journalists being attacked. You saw online propaganda being advanced on some media personalities and media houses. It's not where we want to be, freedom of press in Kenya is advanced compared to our neighbors in East Africa region. We are way, way ahead, but there's an opportunity even to scale higher. But I think we really need to keep on fighting. Mel, sikukuona kwa maandamano ya wanahabari. We were on the streets. Mel, you didn't turn up.
How do you know I didn't turn up?
Because I was there.
Did you look around? Are we going to fight on this, my podcast? I will not allow.
So, man, please come fight. Let's fight for media freedom.
This is my space for fighting. I've brought you here on this podcast. We're fighting. But I really hear you. And the thing is, Seth, once a journalist, always a journalist. I mean, I go to places and people still, speak of me as a journalist, even though I'm not practicing it per se, but it can never end. Like you always, even though you're not attached to a media house or whatever, you will always be like, it's our personality, it's who we are. So,
yes.
Thank you, Seth.
Always a journalist.
Sawa, sijui kidogo leo unatuletea nini kwa news? Kama uko hapa. News ni hii, Indo news ya leo.
Indo news, I'm going to tell people, today I was sitting on the other side and Mel has a podcast. But all the best, Mel. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Although we just wonder all that talent, that
here.
walking piece to camera. Have you resigned from your position in the
podcast? I'll start working.
Are you still an official at the crimes?
Of course, I'm one of the first officials, when we started.
I know. You are a pioneer.
I was the vice chairperson and, the council keeps changing. But of course, as being the first lot, you always have that respect even with amongst your colleagues. And
Let me just ask you from my point of view.
Seth itabia ya watu wa media. Tunamaliza podcast imeisha. We have finished. But I will allow you one question. One.
From your point of view, what's your take about investigative journalism, where it's going, where we are?
Yeah. It's interesting you ask because one of the things that even when I was in NTV that we were trying to do is first of all bring women, female reporters to that space of crime news and investigative news. And that happened, although it's taken a bit of time to, bring in these people like Ngina Kirori, you see like the kind of stories she's been doing,
Yes.
And so seeing that's a good thing. That's something that gives you a bit of hope. But you will also notice that in our media houses, we don't really have these kind of stories that we used to have.
Yes.
We used to have like really some serious investigative features. Munangojea, mnajua, unaona promo Thursday. Unasikia, ina roll out on Friday. Kila mtu tu anangojea,
Yes.
So I'd really want us to go back to that. And, sometimes the problem is, as you'd mentioned, there's interference.
Yes.
Sometimes as an investigative journalist, you actually want to do the story.
Yes.
You want to go out of your way and get the story done. But, unapata kidogo, like hurdles here and there. So it becomes, I would tell, like, I know even some of these guys wamechoka, because you keep trying, you try so hard. But there's still hope. I believe that there's still opportunity to bring investigative journalists to where Akina Al Jazeera are.
Yeah.
I was at the BBC, and BBC Africa is doing some serious stuff, And there's nothing different. Like it's, just the same way we've been in the local media. It's the same way, like we have the same talent. We have the same skill.
Yes.
So for me, that's where I feel like there's a lot to do in that sector. And we did it. Sasa sijui kidogo. I don't know what happened. Seth, no other questions. Tunamaliza. Hii podcast yako amani yangu. Amani yetu. Tunashare.
Two more questions for you. No, I'm kidding.
It's just funny. I even want to tell guys, Seth and I used to be in NTV, we used to be the ones who are always fighting for story one.
Story one, yes. If it is not Mel, it's me.
Every other time, even the editors know, nani akona story one. Seth, Mel, and it's just been amazing.
Thank you, Seth. A very healthy competition.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you for coming to this podcast. Thank you for, opening the way, as the first guest. Wende unafungua njia. Na umeifungua kabisa. Asante.
Omba pia njia ya dola ianze kufunguka.
Ndio hiyo, zote zinafunguka. Hakuna yenye inafungwa. But thank you, Seth.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Seth Duncan. Or Seth Olale. Seth Duncan Olale. Imagine ungekuwa unasema hivyo kwa nini? Ungekuwa jina refu.
Seth
Duncan Olale.
I was discouraged. I was told drop one name.
But yeah, this has been Vibes Hub with me, Mel Miendo. And I'm so excited about this premiere episode. You can imagine the kind of content I'll be bringing you every other week. And please check out my YouTube page, Mel Miendo, on X, Mel Miendo, Instagram, and Facebook, and TikTok as well. So we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy and ciao.